Coming up on City Spotlight, we're on location once again in Season 6 in Neoga. We'll talk with Neoga Mayor Marty Hartke and Brenda Evans, Neoga City Clerk and City Manager, who will recap some of the annual activities that took place in Neoga, Neoga Days, and Suey Fest. And we'll have the latest on how the Neoga Community Center is being used. Then we'll talk about Neoga Schools with new Superintendent of Neoga Schools, Bill Fritcher, about the current state of the Neoga School District and some of the different programs being offered in Neoga schools. We're on location for this latest Season 6 episode, and we're talking Neoga here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. We're taping here in the middle of December 2019, and we find ourselves back again here in Season 6 in Neoga in the Municipal Building. And we're going to get caught up on the latest going on in Neoga, and we welcome back to the program Mayor of Neoga, Marty Hartke. Marty, great to see you again.
Thanks for coming back to see us.
Pleasure. And Brenda Evans, Neoga City Clerk and City Manager. Brenda, pleasure as always.
As always, thank you.
Thank you very much. Folks are seeing this at home for the first time in the middle of January 2020. It's kind of odd to say the year 2020, but that's where we are here in Season 6 of City Spotlight. Last time we were here talking with Marty and Brenda, we taped in the middle of May, so about 7 months ago or so. And we taped just prior to Neoga Days, and we're going to talk about that briefly. I had a great feature at the end of that segment on the 71st Neoga Days, weather cooperated. We're going to talk about some of the events that have taken place since we last taped. And I had a great time. Visuals showed that it was a great time. Community of Neoga put together a great show and talk about the 71st Neoga Days. It looked like it was a great time.
Go ahead.
It was a good time. And the Neoga Days Committee always does a good job. They just do a tremendous, it's a lot of work for them to do for 3 days to cram it all in. And the kids, families, we just all enjoyed it. And the weather, luckily, has turned out very nice lately. So
very good. 71st edition takes place at Jennings Park. Weather was great. Thanks to Tracy Hardesty, chairperson for Neoga Days. Already found out next year's event, the 72nd, will be happening in early June. The theme is Neoga Palooza, and wow, that is a humdinger, if I can say that. Look forward to seeing what that'll
be interesting, won't it? Yes.
Neoga Palooza, see what that all entails. Yes. Very good. What does that event mean to the community of Neoga? 70 plus years. Wow, what a great tradition.
Amazing. It brings a lot of local people out at one time together, and then as well as their extended families come in, which is always nice to see everybody who's been away for a few months or a year or two. So it's a great time. And
it's always it always seems like there's a class reunion or two
right.
During the Neoga Days, which is nice to whether it's the long reunion or a short reunion. It's nice to see all those people out there.
In the Cumberland County, this is our story program that we had on WEIU not too long ago. We had a story on Neoga Days. And people would schedule their family vacations around coming back for Neoga Days. So obviously that means a lot to a lot of people. The next event we're going to talk about took place since we last taped with you guys. It was the 5th Suey Fest that took place at Jennings Park on September 28th. How was the weather and how did it go?
The weather was great. The Neoga Partnership for Progress, great organization. They do a lot of things here in Neoga along with Neoga Days. But the weather was great. I think they ended up having 10 to 12 smokers. It turned out great. A lot of people, free kid games all over the place. It was a good, yet again, a small gathering, but it was a great turnout for a nice event.
Jennings Park is a wonderful venue here in Neoga, just really big. As I saw from Neoga Days, so many places to hold things. So Suey Fest also held at Jennings Park. A recent event that took place just before we're taping here in mid-December. The Hometown Christmas. Tell us about that, please.
And again, Neoga Partnership for Progress. This is another one of their events. They've had, I think this was their 5th year along with the Suey Fest.
Right.
But they had a couple of people step up this year and really the whole committee went above and beyond to make it a great event. They had an ice skating rink.
Wow.
Let's see, the ice skating rink and a reindeer come to town. Of course, Santa Claus. The kids love Santa Claus. Horse and carriage rides, free hot chocolate. Basically, everything was free.
Right.
It was just it was cold, rainy, but man, the turnout was absolutely unreal. It was crazy how many people come out. Kids got cold, wet on the ice skating rink, but it was a really good family event.
We had 70 plus years of Neoga Days. Sui Fest will be having its 6th edition this coming year. This year in 2020. This hometown Christmas, has it been going long? How many years has this been going on?
It's been going on for about 5 years now.
5 years? Okay, so around the same time.
And it used to be just, they did a simple tree lighting, free cookies, free hot chocolate. And this year they dreamed pretty big, and it was a major success for their dreams. And I can only imagine what they're dreaming about next year.
All right. Look forward to these events moving forward here, Neoga Days, Sui Fest, and the Hometown Christmas moving forward. Let's change gears to something we talked about last time, the Neoga Community Center. We talked about that. Obviously, folks at home know that it is in the building that was formerly the Neoga Elementary School. And talked about that and what things are held there now. It's transitioned from being a school to a community center that it is, has a gym, you have daycare. Reiterate to our folks at home what things take place at the Neoga Community Center.
We've had all kinds of things, and we've had birthday parties to just church groups getting together in the gym to rent it out. The gym is available for rent still. We're still kind of in it seems like a slow process, but 7 months isn't very long ago when we talked about it.
Right.
But we are definitely still in the planning process for it. We've got some big dreams for it, big ideas.
Right.
It's a matter of finding the right time to get it all done. The EASY program is still out there, helping out the Neoga School District, giving them a location, and then the daycare in town has a big portion of it. And then we're renting out the kitchen right now to Modern Family Dinners. It's a new business in town that needed a place, and it's a very successful business.
It's a very wide building. If anybody's seen it, it's over there near Jennings Park. Structurally, is it where it needs to be, or are there going to be any possible improvements moving forward with the facility?
We have updated our heating and air system. It is geothermal. The school put that in 10 years ago, probably. Right. Structurally, it's a great building. It's got a new roof on the gym. It's a structurally sound. It's a way too good of a building to let sit there, and that's why we've got some big ideas for it. We have done some renovations in the classroom, or in 2 of the classrooms, to move one of the renters down to one end, just to make it more economical for everybody.
Community likes what you have going here with this facility. It's being used for so many things. It's very happy with having this as an option in the community.
Yes, absolutely. It's just, and like I say, we're in the planning stages, but we've got some really big ideas for it, and the community is going to benefit greatly from it. Okay. We've got 2 beautiful schools in town, and then we have the community center. So we've got really good ideas for it. It's just a matter of getting the ball rolling again, and then getting through the winter months.
Okay, very good. The Neoga Community Center. Before I ask you one final question, we talked about a lot of things last time with you guys. We talked about public works, talked about all the economic development that's going on in Neoga, new and old. It's a new decade, 2020. Anything going on that you're working on that you can share with our folks at home here that you're planning on for this year? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but what are some things that you can speak of maybe that you're working on here in Neoga as the new decade is upon us?
Well, there's a lot of things we're working on.
Right.
It's that we can't talk about, and the people understand that.
Right.
We are constantly reaching out to businesses and our current businesses and future businesses. We're open for business. We have a beautiful TIF district with some funds in it that are available to use, and we have a lot of applications for that. But we are open for business, and we would love to have new businesses along with helping out our current businesses.
All right, very good. Look forward to following up on that down the road here in Neoga. Last question I want to ask you guys. In our next segment here on City Spotlight, we've already taped in the show. We taped with the new superintendent of Neoga Schools, Bill Fritcher, and our very first Neoga City Spotlight episode that Brenda was in, we had a segment on Neoga Schools. At that time, spring of 2015, the school district was in a much different state. Things are much better now, obviously, and we'll hear from Superintendent Fritcher. Schools are at the heart of every community, especially ones of the size of Neoga. Your thoughts on how the Neoga School District has where it was to where it is now?
They went through They went through a tough time, and I shouldn't say we as a community went through a tough time with the school district. But man, they've got the ball rolling out there, and they've got a beautiful things going on, and the communication between the city and the school district are very wide open, and we talk daily, if not weekly, if not daily, about things going on. We throw ideas at each other, and it's just, we have to have a school district. It's a big asset to our community, and we have to have it. And they've done a tremendous job out there. We've got some beautiful teachers that do a good job.
Great working relationship.
Right. One of 2 school districts in Cumberland County. Brenda, Neoga has been a great part of your life here to see the school district where it is. And your thoughts on the state of Neoga School District?
Oh, I couldn't be happier with what they're going through right now. There's a lot of young blood that's new, and they're ready to go for it with the CEO program on down.
Absolutely. We've talked about the CEO program, recent episode on Toledo, and also with Superintendent Fritcher here in our next segment. That's all I have for the time now. We have Mayor of Neoga, Marty Hartke, and Brenda Evans, Neoga City Clerk and City Manager. Great having you again on here on City Spotlight.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you again.
And Happy New Year. It's 2020, so very good. Coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll talk with the new Superintendent of Neoga Schools, Bill Fritcher. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Neoga. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this on-location episode on Neoga. As you can see, we've changed locations. We're now in the superintendent's office here of Neoga School District number 3, and we are pleased to welcome first time to the program the new superintendent of Neoga Schools, Bill Fritcher. Bill, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for letting us in your office. We look forward to talking Neoga Schools once again. Before we do that, as I mentioned, Bill, you're a first-time guest to the program. Can you tell our audience at home a little bit about yourself, please?
Sure, I'd love to. Originally, I'm from Altamont. Have all of my college degrees from Eastern Illinois University. I'm very proud of that. My wife, Julie, and I have lived in Neoga for 28 years. We have 2 children who have graduated from high school here. One lives in Nashville, Tennessee. The other is a sophomore in college. Just thrilled to have the opportunity to work here and serve the people of the community.
As you mentioned, you live here in Neoga. Where were you previously at?
I spent 15 years in the Teutopolis School District. 6 of those were as the junior high school principal. The last 9 were as superintendent in Teutopolis. Had 15 fantastic years there.
Okay, very good. You've pretty much stayed Central Illinois local here with most of the positions that you've held, and coming from T-Town to Neoga, you live in Neoga, so was this a no-brainer opportunity for you when it came up?
It was a good opportunity for me. Neoga Schools have really turned the corner with some things, and adding back a lot of programs, and I'm excited about the difference that the school district has to make in the community, and we have some good partnerships and relationships with community organizations, and it's exciting to be a part of that.
Okay, very good. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that as we go here in our conversation. Before we dive into the current status of Neoga Schools, back in season 1 here of City Spotlight, I taped an episode, first episode on Neoga, and at that time I talked with the interim superintendent of schools, Dr. Beth Pressler. Dr. Pressler was brought into the Neoga School District to help with the current status of the Neoga schools, which was not in great times at that time. But Bill, I want to ask you here, as folks are seeing this episode for the first time here, January of 2020, you're just about 6-7 months into the job here at Neoga Schools. from those times of when Dr. Pressler was here to now, obviously Neoga schools are in much better shape.
Right.
How has Neoga navigated through these last five plus years?
Well, Neoga made some very difficult decisions, and a very difficult time for the community, for the school teachers, school staff in general, but they have rebounded nicely. Those cuts that were made at that time allowed them to kind of weather the financial storm in the state of Illinois. Since that time, we have added back our agriculture program, which is really flourishing right now. We've added back a full-time art teacher this year. That's been a fantastic addition. Our music programs are still as strong as ever. Fine arts are important to this community, and those are going well. So we have some other things that we've added back. The CEO class in Cumberland County now is a nice addition for the kids in our school district. We are working closely with many school districts in the area on the Effingham Regional Career Academy, which is something that we hope to start in the next 3 to 4 years. So we'll have some more opportunities for career and technical education for our kids as well.
Career Academy that Bill just mentioned. We've talked obviously numerous times with Superintendent Mark Doan down there in Effingham, and also Lakeland College President Dr. Josh Bullock. So everyone is looking forward to seeing that open up with that wonderful new facility. You mentioned several things that we're going to dive into, but Bill, first let's talk about the physical state, the facilities that you have here in Neoga. Tell us about your buildings, please.
Right. So as part of the cost-saving measures for Neoga, they did close the elementary school, which was located on the west side of town. That building has now become the Neoga Community Center, purchased by the city of Neoga. So we have 2 buildings now. We have our junior senior high, and we have our elementary school that, as you drive up and down Interstate 57, may still say Neoga Middle School, but that houses our kindergarten through 5th grade students. Junior senior high, obviously, we have 6 through 12 in that building.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. And both schools are basically right next to each other.
Both schools are all on one campus, which is a really a positive thing. We did some significant work in the shop rooms over the past summer, had all those painted. The south gym in our junior senior high has undergone major renovations, new floor, new bleachers, new painting, new lights in the north gym. So we've had significant renovations done there. Another positive addition that I really should mention is a food service program that we added this year called OPA. Our students now have more lunch choices. It's been incredibly popular with kids. Over 70% of our kids are eating school lunch, and prior to this time it was hovering closer to that 50% range. So it's been a real positive for the school and the community as well.
Very good. Thank you for those updates on things that have been updated. Obviously those things you don't do every year, so to make changes like that with like a gym, very important to the buildings. You mentioned elementary school is K through 5, junior senior high is 6 through 12. Obviously, you mentioned the old elementary school, as you mentioned, and we've talked about it being the new community center here in Neoga. The middle, now former middle school, it's able to accommodate, the buildings are able to accommodate the number of students you have?
Yes, yeah, we have every classroom is being utilized, every classroom is full, so not a ton of room for growth, but we're hoping that becomes a problem as we work closely with the village and try to make some opportunity for people to relocate to Neoga if they have that desire. We think providing a great school system is a key to that. So our focus right now is trying to put the best product out there we can as a school district.
Very good. One of 2 school districts in Cumberland County. Obviously, the other one is the Cumberland School District over there near Toledo and Greenup. Number of students you currently have, Bill?
We have 549 students currently. We have been experiencing some drop in enrollment, but we're hoping to make some changes to that and turn that around a little bit.
All right, very good. You listed a bunch of the programs that are going on, especially ones that are coming back after what transpired 5+ years ago. What are some other programs that are going on?
Some other programs, we have obviously a full range of athletic programs we have here. We do have track, cross country, baseball, softball, basketball for our students. The FFA program is really strong right now. Lots of participation in the agriculture program. Cody Carmen is our ag teacher and FFA sponsor, award-winning, I might add, ag teacher. Has been recognized as one of the outstanding beginning ag teachers in the state of Illinois. He's just fantastic. So those are some of the programs that we have going. Obviously, we're offering Scholar Bowl, that sort of thing as well. But our numbers are good, our participation levels are high, and we're excited about that.
What's been the reception of the community? It's probably a good one of the programs that you're bringing back.
Fantastic. We had our first art show last week with a new art teacher. That's just been a fantastic addition. We have an energetic, dynamic teacher in there. And anytime we give kids the opportunity to do work with their hands, to be able to show their talent in a way other than a pencil paper test, it's positive for kids. And we think we're engaging kids on a higher level. And we think that's going to improve our attendance numbers. It's going to improve our graduation numbers. Lots of things that will help with. The ag program has been so popular that the ag teacher is teaching an overload. He's teaching without a preparation period. Incredibly busy guy. Was in here recently on a Sunday afternoon at a community lunch, and the ag teacher had a group of kids in practicing for a competition coming up on a Sunday afternoon. So some positives. Hardworking kids and hardworking staff make for good results.
I believe I saw some of those ag students that you mentioned at Neoga Days this past summer. We had a feature on Neoga Days, so I might have gotten a shot of a few of those.
Sure.
And it makes a lot of sense for the location of Neoga for the school district to have an ag program. So very good to hear. One program that you briefly touched upon and that we dived into for the first time on a recent episode on Toledo, and actually where I met Bill for the first time, the CEO program in Cumberland County is going on now, and was able to see them in action at a meeting in Toledo. But talk about that edition for the students, not just in Neoga, but Cumberland County.
Right. Well, the CEO program has been around for better than 10 years now. It's originated in Effingham, and Mr. Craig Linval was the first teacher of that program. I had the good fortune of working with Craig in the Teutopolis School District, and I served on the board of the Effingham County CEO class for 8 years. I see that program as being so beneficial for kids and gives them experiences outside of a typical classroom. They actually get to hear from people who are in the business world, and it just has a great impact on kids. Testimonials from parents would indicate that they now have adult conversations at dinner time with their children that they were not having before. That's just a fantastic testament to the benefits of the program. Obviously, the hope is through CEO that we have students who want to continue to make Cumberland County their home. And when they realize some of the business that goes on here, I think that can happen. So real positives with the CEO program, and we're excited about that in Cumberland County.
For that episode on Toledo that we first talked about Cumberland County CEO, I talked with Barb Irvin from Irvin Equipment and about how the program kind of all got going and gave us a nice overview. Having talked to many superintendents and educational leaders in all these central Illinois communities that have CEO, it wouldn't just work without the support of the community and the local businesses.
Right. Yeah. CEO is privately funded. We're not using taxpayer dollars to pay for the facilitator for the class. So those private donations are a key to making that work, and we have received great support in Cumberland County for that, and I think people see the need, and hopefully we get some brick and mortar businesses started at some point. That would be an ultimate goal. So,
before I ask you my final question or two, Bill, I joked with several people on this program in the last part of 2019 that we're upon a new decade, and this is the first new episode talking with someone such as yourself in the new decade. And I don't know what they're going to call this decade now, but what are you excited about the future for the Neoga School District?
The Neoga School District, obviously, lots of things to be excited about. What I hope is that the partnership that we've formed now with the City of Neoga, with the Neoga Partnership for Progress Group, we're making some exciting things happen for the community just to improve quality of life throughout the community. And I think when we're all working in partnership, we can do fantastic things for the kids who attend our schools here. That's what we're trying to do, is improve the partnerships that we have outside of the walls of the schoolhouse, so to say. And I think there are really exciting opportunities that await us in 2020.
Great to get caught up on what's going on in Neoga schools, and things are obviously going very well. And we thank, first time here on the program,
Yes.
the Superintendent of Neoga Schools, Bill Fritcher. Bill, pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Look forward to chatting with you down the road. And that'll do it for this On Location episode on Neoga. We thank you for watching City Spotlight, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.